Good morning. Selamat dia in Boricua. Good evening. Ciao, Caraya. Seneca Pocona, which is many blessings in Taino language. Muchas bendiciones in Spanish. Namaste, everyone. Welcome to day one of May Cause Miracles by Gabrielle Bernstein, our Mindset Shift Challenge. The title of the book, as you can see, says that it's a 40-day guidebook of subtle shifts for radical change and unlimited happiness. It may cause subtle shifts, as it says. So let's please open ourselves up without any expectations, without limitations. Let's be with open hearts, open minds, as we start this day one. Although the book says subtle shifts, as you may or may not know, I have been for a whole year studying to be a yoga therapist, extending my knowledge in yoga to become an 800-hour yoga therapist. I've been studying with Sarahjoy Marsh under Yoga Joy, trying to specialize in neuropsychology, neurobiology, with a yoga focus. So using some of the studies of techniques, of attachment styles, Ayurveda, IFS, speaking to some of the individuals from other specialties. And what we're going to do with this book, we are also going to be going through some of the topics as I've learned, through yoga therapy. So the goal with this book, besides having a subtle shift, is to develop tapas. And what is tapas? That's T-A-P-A-S. They're little practices of self-discipline that we can place into our daily lives, our daily routines, which in Ayurveda and yoga, we would call dinacharya. So we're going to use this book to help us get along. And along the way of this wonderful challenge, I'm going to be adding some sprinklings of knowledge that I've learned through the Yoga Joy program of yoga philosophy, yoga psychology, with neurobiology, neural awareness coming into play. We're going to try to be more trauma-informed, trauma-sensitive with certain topics. I'm going to be throwing in some Ayurvedic terms. So if anyone ever has a question after watching these videos, please, of course, stop me. Well, these aren't live, so you can't really stop me, but stop the video and email me and let's see what we can do. But welcome to day one. It's going to be a longer video only because we're getting into the groove of things and starting along. I'm going to be reading 32 pages. So we're going to be reading along with 32 pages, as well as I'm taking some time to apply some of the yoga therapy terms and philosophies that I have long learned along the way. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's see what we can do for day one. Shall we? Okay. I'm a little nervous, so bear with me. I have read this book years ago. And when I started doing the journey of doing yoga, I do believe I read it, I would say 12 years ago, as I was beginning to discover yoga again, but this time as a teacher. I have been practicing yoga on and off since I was a kid, along with my martial arts training. Physically, it helped me to get extra bendy for martial arts. It was really helping me spiritually and mentally because, the stress and trying to breathe and trying to get into but the spiritual part didn't really hit till later on in the years. And this past year in yoga therapy, psychologically wise, mentally wise, emotionally wise, has and spiritually wise has been the biggest shift ever. And I thought, well, you know what? Let's just try and go through this book again, which I started off as my basic, and see how in alignment it is with what I've learned in yoga therapy and what I have learned throughout my years being a yoga teacher, living out there in my human experience, going through a divorce as a single mom of three, and then getting remarried with a greater guy and going through that journey and raising my three kids together and all the other bumps along the way. So I thought this would be a very interesting time to revisit this book, redo the 40-day challenge with a better understanding of yoga and with yoga therapy behind me. And let's just see what comes up out of it. So I'm going through a whole new range too. So there goes my nerves because I don't know what to expect after reading this either. So this would be a brand new challenge for me and you. Me, I'm revisiting this again, but let's see what will come out of it. Okay, so with much love to everyone, much love to you, much love to me, much love to the book. Let's get started, shall we? Okay. She's also written Add More into Your Life and Spiritual Junkie. So if you want to learn more about the author, go ahead there. So we're starting day 1, week 1. Becoming miracle-minded is the theme. Okay, so let's start with the introduction. Hopefully you can read along with me. Introduction. Heaven on earth is a choice you must make, not a place you must find, by Dr. Wayne Dyer. He's another great author. He passed away years ago. You can look into more of his works as well. Winter 2009 was a turning point in my career. I was in the process of trying to get a publishing deal for my first book, Add More to Your Life, a hip guide to happiness. At this time, the recession had us in a headlock. Fear and uncertainty were at an all-time high. News anchors reported on the ever-growing unemployment rates, and nearly every industry was negatively affected. I remember sitting in my mother's kitchen, telling my stepfather about my book concept. He tried his best to be as supportive as possible, but his fear, please keep that in mind, the word fear, of the recession was very strong. He responded, "This is a great concept, Gab, but don't forget that right now is a terrible time for the economy. It would be hard to sell a book." My response was confident and almost involuntary. Words flooded out of my mouth. "Thank you for sharing," I said. "But I don't think that way because I believe in miracles." I felt empowered by these words and filled with faith, regardless of the outside world's resistance. In that moment, I witnessed, I'm going to move the book over so you can see a little, my commitment to letting go of fear and recalibrated my faith in miracles. 3 months later, I sold the book. For the past 7 years, I've been working hard to keep my mind clear of fear and maintain my miracle mindset. As a result of my dedication to miracles, I have become a rankator for love. You can research what the heck that means. I have to go back to my dictionary too. inspiring audiences worldwide through my global speaking circuit, books, and social media. Today, I live a miraculous life and am on a mission to help everyone do the same. My dedication to miracles got me to this groovy state. But I'll be straight up with you. Choosing loving thoughts over fear, delusions was a tough transition at first. It seems easy. Who doesn't want to trade in fear for love? But giving up fear is like giving up sugar. They are both sneaky ingredients that hide out in almost anything and everything. And just when you think you've got that craving under control, suddenly it rears its not so pretty head again. Therefore, releasing fearful patterns isn't for dabblers. It requires diligence and commitment. It requires you to become a full-on miracle worker. That is so true. The yoga therapy practice that I learned for that whole year, I'm still on that journey. And it's a cycle. It's cyclical is what we've learned. You start with tapas, you put it in your dinacharya, you get to your savaya, your svadhyaya, your savaya phase, which is I start to question all those things that serve me and don't serve me. And then I go into, I figured that part out and start going into the tapas of fame. So it's very cyclical. Going back to the book. One of the key components to my glass half full lifestyle is my dedication to A Course in Miracles, which teaches an untrained mind can accomplish nothing. Over a span of nearly 40 years, the Course, a self-study metaphysical guide published by the Foundation of Inner Peace, has changed the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. It can be approached in whatever capacity works best for the individual. And in my mind, and in my experience, studying the course resulted in a full-blown mind cleanse, not to mention a super rockin' life. That's what yoga has done for me. As a student of the course, I've learned that to find real happiness, we must be willing to look at our fears straight on. Be careful with that. Sometimes fears can be very crippling. So always work with a therapist, work with another professional to assist you to go into certain fears that may cause retreating into old habits, into dangerous habits. Just be careful when we go into these fears, doing the shadow work and all the stuff, okay? That's just my 2 cents. Let's continue with the book. I'll move it over here. All right. Throughout my practice, I was guided to examine all my fears and investigate their root cause. For instance, upon looking at my fearful patterns with food, such as binging and obsessing over the next meal, I could understand that my compulsive overeating was a reaction to the childhood anxiety I picked up at the dinner table. At one time, my mother struggled with overeating. She turned to food to anesthetize, that means to numb, her own inner turmoil. Her compulsive overeating affected me because I unconsciously picked up her anxious energy around the dinner table. This seemingly minor experience created a lot of anxiety for me when it came to eating. Unconsciously, I took on my own fear around food. The fearful thought, there's never enough, became an internal dialogue that plagued me at every meal. I'd overeat and speed through the meals. I never tasted my food. I never enjoyed it. I lived in this torturous cycle. Remember what I said cycle before? Healing, learning new habits, all cyclical. For years until I became willing to look at the fear underneath my behavior. Once I looked at my fear, I understood that it was based on that false belief that there was never enough. False narrative, all the stories that you have in your head in the background. I spent decades in fear of not having enough to eat. I'd chosen to carry that limiting belief into my present and replay it in my day-to-day life. And that's the thing about limiting beliefs. They're just smoke and mirrors. a bit of mental sleight of hand that leads us in the wrong direction in life. Through my willingness, dedication to miracles, and infinite patience, I was guided to all the resources I needed for healing. In time, my food addiction lifted. Upon realizing that overeating wouldn't ever make me feel safe and complete, I recognized that nothing outside of myself could fill me up. I learned that real happiness doesn't come from getting, but from giving. I accepted that true serenity and happiness come from a connection to love. Deep down, we all inherently want to be loved and be loved. When we fulfill our functions, which is to truly love ourselves and share love with others, then true happiness sets in. I'm going to put a pause on that for a moment and add some information in yoga therapy. Okay. So what I learned is that that is the basis of our first chakra. Under our first chakra, it is a sense of security and safety. When those two things are met, we'll continue to go up the chakra chain. Okay. When there is an imbalance of the first chakra, that is when we develop fear. We are committed to our responsibility to work to the welfare of everything and everything as our own, includes a commitment to our own personal vitality. Always we nourish vitality. So there is, when we are not in our first chakra, if we're insecure, if we are feeling unsafe, we are feeling unloved, there goes the fear and there goes the imbalance. We as humans, we long to be in a tribe. We long to be in part of community. We long to have love and a sense of love for ourselves and our others. That comes from the first chakra. So when that is not met, then we are in fear of, okay, well, if others don't love me, can I love myself? Am I useful? So there you go. There goes that cycle of fear, and it goes on, and it continues. Okay, so now you know that we are working. Fear comes from the first chakra, but I'll continue on with my notes in a minute. Let's continue with the book. As soon as I made the course part of my daily life, I cleaned up my fearful thought patterns. Everything began to change. The most significant change wasn't what I experienced, but instead how I experienced it. As a result of following the course suggestions, I've forgiven my past, released my future, and shown up for the present with love and faith. The changes in my life were beyond phenomenal. Now I'm going to show you how to do the same, which is great. So she forgave herself in her past and all the things that happened. When you do better, when you know better, you do better. I'm going to repeat that again. When you know better, you do better. So forgive yourself for not knowing any better before, and we can love ourselves and remain in the present. When we are in the past, when we're thinking about the past, we can become depressed about the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. When we're in our future mind, we're thinking about, oh my God, what can I, what will I, or should I do? And there goes the shoulda, coulda, woulda, but in the present sense, in the future sense. So we're worried about either the past or the future. To remain in the present is to be still, to be loved. So without attachments, you don't have to attach yourself to what happened in the past. And you don't have to attach yourself with the expectations of what's going to happen, the anticipation of what's going to happen in the future, because neither can be controlled. You can't go back and change your past. You may control your future, but you don't know what's going to come out of it anyway. So stay in the present. The present moment that's why it's called the present. It's a gift, right? All right, let's go back to the book. How to become a miracle worker. The first step in choosing love over fear is to understand your fear. As a student of A Course in Miracles, I learned to become the witness to my fear-based thoughts. Each time I felt fear set in, I take a deep breath. She reset her autonomic system. step outside of my thoughts and actions and witness my behavior. By witnessing my fears, I saw how delusional they actually were. For instance, early in my career, I ran a public relations business. Every new client brought a new opportunity to negotiate my monthly retainer. I hated negotiating. It made me feel anxious and jittery. I lose my sense of calm. When I acknowledged my fears around negotiating for more money, I realized it was related to a fear that I acquired as a young woman, that women shouldn't ask for more. This was an outside projection the world had created, and I'd chosen to believe it. I honestly don't even remember where or when I picked it up, but it stuck to me like glue. This fear-based illusion from the past replayed itself enough times that it became a belief system I was faithful to. But by getting honest about my fear, I determined how this lack mentality had become a fear-based pattern in my mind. Throughout the book, I'll reinforce the message that witnessing your fearful patterns is the first step to you witnessing your own fears in all areas of life. So, yes, witnessing. What does she mean by that? So, it's as if you step out of your conscious mind and just be the scientist. Let your mind play whatever's playing, and you're going to allow yourself to see what's coming up for you without any judgment. So don't think, oh, I'm a bad person for bringing this up, or thinking, just notice it, write it down, and then figure out, why am I thinking about this? How is it coming up? Where is it striking me? Where am I feeling it in my body? We're going to keep referencing a lot of that when it comes to applying some yoga therapy techniques. Where are you feeling this thought in your body? It's similar to that book that I read about The Body Keeps Score. That's the name of the book. It's called The Body Keeps Score. Your body has a memory besides your brain. It remembers certain traumas, experiences you may have. A certain smell can trigger that memory to coming up, certain touch, a certain song, things like that. Again, these are little tidbits I'll be sprinkling into the book every time I hit a target and I get triggered by something that I read. But let's go back. Then comes willingness. You can change a pattern only if you're willing to change it. I'm going to read that again. You can change a pattern only if you're willing to change it. If you're not willing, it's not going to happen. A Course in Miracles says that the slightest willingness is all you need to receive the guidance to change. When we become open to letting go of our fear, we open our heart, mind, and energy to be guided to a new perspective. Willingness raises your consciousness of new possibilities and ignites what I call your ing, your inner guide. Some people call this your higher power, your inner self, your spiritual self. In yoga, we will say capital S self, or versus your little s self, which is the present moment. It goes according to the Panchakama kosha. We're going deep into yoga therapy techniques right now. Maybe I'll add some diagrams to talk to you about those things later on. But that's what she's talking about: your inner guide, your higher self, your scientist as you're experimenting with your mind thoughts, trying to look it through. Your dream self, your higher S self. So whatever wording resonates with you, use that. If your inner guide sounds too much religiously, going towards a basis of belief that you're not into, don't get stuck with the wording. Find what resonates with you and leave the rest. Okay? All right, let's go back. Your ing is the voice of love, your inspiration, and your intuition. Your ing steers you out of fear and back to love. All you need is a little willingness to get your ing on and receive guidance to change. This guidance will come in different forms: intuition, inspiration, and sometimes even through synchronicities. Often we can experience intuition as a strong inner knowing that offers us guidance of some form. Inspiration can be experienced as a feeling, of flow and excitement that comes through in moments when our thoughts and actions are aligned with love. Then there are moments of synchronicity, which are really groovy. Like when you're thinking about your mother and she calls, or when you keep hearing about a new book and the next day it falls off the shelf in the store. Holy cow. As you add up the exercises in this book, the presence of your inner guide will become more apparent, while intuition, inspiration, and synchronicity will flow naturally. The same thing, I'm going to be adding some meditations, some exercises that will help us along the way as well. 3 other components are key to living a miraculous life: gratitude, forgiveness, and love. First comes gratitude. An emphasis on gratitude is the only attitude for the miracle worker. Living a grateful life creates more abundance, acceptance, and appreciation. To transform your fears back to love, you must embrace a grateful way of being. Okay, so another way of thinking of this is gratitude is the altitude of the attitude. So the highest attitude that you can have is a grateful one. If the word miracle worker stings a little bit for you, use mindfulness master, mindfulness worker, mindfulness individual, mindful, whatever word feels best for you, that resonates for you. You don't have to use the word miracle. I totally get it that might be a trigger for some of us, but you're becoming you're becoming a high magnet, a magnet of impure energy of positivity. Think of it as that. You're changing your mindset for a growth mindset, a mindful mindset, the mindset of magnetism to draw all things that are good for your higher good, for your greatest energy, your greatest altitude of life to yourself. Then comes forgiveness. The act of forgiveness is to the miracle worker as a lettuce is to the raw foodie. Forgiveness allows us to cleanse ourselves of the old junky fear and shines light on the darkness of our worries, doubts, and suspicion. Rather than continuing to play the role of victim, we can forgive and be set free. With each choice to forgive, we shift our perception from fear to love. Okay, here's another triggering word: forgive. Forgive is in a matter for you. This is not about the other person. Forgiveness is a gift for you. It keeps you from being trapped in that cycle of thought of, well, he did this to me, he did this to me, he did this to me. Absolutely. It doesn't erase the wrong action. It doesn't forgive the action either. This word was triggering when I first read this, and then I read the book, The Act of Forgiving by Desmond Tutu, and he gave me a new way of thinking about this word, because I was also taught in my religious upbringing that forgiveness means forgetting, and it's not that at all. So I'm going to continue with the book again. Finally, there's love, the most crucial ingredient. A Course in Miracles teaches that the only thing missing in our situation is love. And where there is fear, there is no love. Therefore, living with an open heart and embracing love as a true purpose is essential to living a miraculous life. Okay, this word right here was also triggering and this whole sentence was triggering at first. Where there is fear, there is no love. I would say that's kind of for me, because in yoga therapy, what I've learned is that fear actually is trying to tell me something. It's trying to avoid trouble. It's not necessarily a naughty or bad thing. When I was studying in yoga therapy and speaking to Mike Elkin, he is an IFS system worker. IFS is a system designated by Richard Schwartz. If you want to learn more about IFS, you can Google it up. But fear, I'm going into my notes now. So if you hear any pages and any crackling at the end, I am sorry. That's just what I'm doing right now. Okay, so, oh, the page changed. Don't worry, I have it marked here. So fear is a good, it's not necessarily a negative feeling, okay? It's a warning. It's trying to tell you, hey, this is reminding me of something and I'm scared. So think of fear as an alarm system. Can the alarm system become hyper focused, hypersensitive? Yes, that's what we can. So that's probably why she said where there's no fear, there's no love. And that is a definite, it's a definite thing. But like I said, in yoga therapy, I learned that fear is a protector. It's a defense mechanism. It's trying to warn you, hey, buddy, something's going on. There is a part of your brain called the amygdala. That is your fear center. Okay. It remembers, wait a minute, this is similar to something else. Think of your amygdala as a smoke detector looking for a fire. Okay. And the hippocampus is also part of your brain, is your file clerk. It will pull up memories, real or not. That's why she said it was a delusion in the previous pages. It could be real and it could not be real. So real or not, it will pull up a certain fear to validate what the amygdala, the fire, the smoke alarm came up. So have you ever cooked and all of a sudden there's some smoky stuff? It's not necessarily on fire. Maybe the oil was too hot and the French fries, let's say you were cooking French fries and they were still wet and you put water into an oily pan. What happens? You see the smoke, then the alarm goes off and you have to wave the alarm to shut off because the fire alarm thinks, holy cow, your house is on fire, but in reality it's not. That's similar to what the hippocampus and the amygdala do, okay? If they're trying to set a warning. And sometimes that warning is hypersensitive to everything, just like that fire alarm in the story that I told you about the cooking, all right? So we just got to see what's real and what's not real. And tell our protector, hey, buddy, thank you so much for bringing this up for me. Now let me see why I'm so scared. And then you get to witness that fear. Right? So let's go back to the book. I'll keep sprinkling some little tidbits of yoga therapy as we go along, again, as I get triggered by certain things. All right. Experiencing miracles. Again, experiencing mindfulness, experiencing joy, experiencing gratitude, elevations of skills, whatever. The payoff for sticking to the course principles is that the more you choose gratitude, forgiveness, and love, the more you experience, the more mindfulness, the more things you experience. You become a huge magnet. If you're wondering what I mean by miracle, it's simple. A miracle is a shift in perspective from fear to love. Okay, so she gave you a different definition. So if you want to change this word to something else that fits this definition, go right ahead. A miracle can be a moment you choose to forgive your ex-lover and let go of decades of resentment, or the moment you recognize that losing your job was not a tragedy, but an opportunity to follow your true calling. Simply put, each moment you choose love over fear is a miracle. And the more miracles you add up, the less likely you are to perceive life through dark-colored lenses. When you choose to perceive love over fear, life begins to flow. You feel peaceful and you see love in all situations. Your hangups subside and your life feels guided. Okay, sometimes love can be a trigger too. Think of it in the terms of agape love. I know my handwriting can be atrocious sometimes. Agape, that's an A. Or universal love, love of the greatest good. Okay. I love you because you're a human being, not because I like you. Does that make sense? Okay. My dedication is to living this way has changed every area of my life. I let go of addictions to romance, drugs, work, food, you name it. I've learned to choose forgiveness whenever resentment creeps into my mind. Fear of financial insecurity, that's a big one for me, and I'm quite sure for a lot of people too, has lifted, and my internal abundance, my zest for living a love-guided life is reflected in external abundance. Today, I see obstacles as an opportunity and know that the universe has my back. She also wrote a book called that. She has another book called The Universe Has My Back. Most importantly, I feel a sense of certainty that there is a power greater than me supporting my every move. My ing is on. When you release your fears, you too will begin to raise your thoughts and therefore your energetic state. I wouldn't, we can release the ones that are, let me see, that are not real. But remember, I don't think of fear as something negative anymore. I think of it as my protector. So that means it's popping up a past thought, a past memory that may or may not be false, that may or may not serve me, and I need to witness it to address it. All right. That's just the yoga therapy sprinkling I'm adding to that. Your body is a molecular structure that is always vibrating energy. Oh my gosh, is it true? Your body it memorizes a lot of things. It can hold on to fear. It can hold on to pain you thought you got over. That energy is positive when your thoughts are positive, and it is negative when your thoughts are negative. Your body is also 70% water. There was a study in Japan. You can find this on YouTube somewhere. That water has consciousness. Water has consciousness. So I'm gonna write it down here so you can look it up later. I'm gonna write it down. Water has consciousness. And in this particular study, they would say negative words and the water would change its molecules. Okay, water has consciousness. Look for that YouTube study. I'm going to describe it just a little bit. It's mentioned that water can change its molecular structure. So let's say you said a very hateful word. Let's say you use the word hate, and you would tell the water hate, 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 hate. That's all you said. You wrote it down. The molecule of that water, after you said the word hate, if you put it under a microscope, it would change. It would distort. But then if you were to go to another bottle of water or even the same water, okay, and then say the word love or like or use your tone and energy itself to a higher level, the water molecules will change again. So think about it. If your body is 70% water and it can be affected by negative or positive wording, and she says here that your body is a molecular structure that's always vibrating energy, it will pick up positivity and it will pick up negativity, both. And if water molecules change when it's introduced to either one, what do you think happens when you talk negative about yourself? When you hear negative things about you or others? What do you think happens to your molecular structure? So we must be careful about what we expose ourselves to as well. So even if you're joking and saying, oh, I'm just a stupid person, your body hears that. And sooner or later may even respond to it by feeling it and believing it. So let's be careful what we say. Speak words of love to you always, because you are a vibrating molecular being. Okay, back to the book. Our energy fields are like magnets. Did I just mention that before? Mention that. Magnets, and she says it again. They attract their likeness. Therefore, if your energy is negative, guess what? You're attracting negativity into your life. For instance, if you walk into a job interview thinking you're not good enough for the position, you're energetically exude insecurity and a sense of inadequacy. This energy is not attractive to the employer and you don't get the job. In this instance, your thoughts informed your energy and your energy negatively affected your reality. The miracle mind approach, the mindful approach, shows you how to shift your thoughts and energy, thereby attracting positivity into your life. Had you walked into a job believing you were good enough, your energy would exude that same strength. Then the positive impression you made lead to immediate employment of a future connection. Either way, your positive energy will create a positive result. Releasing fear requires honesty and courage. Oh, it's simple. Yeah. Sometimes honesty and courage are not so simple. Being honest with yourself can be very difficult and it can take time. So don't allow this word to make you feel like you're stupid or slow or your progress is stuck because you think it's supposed to be easy. Why isn't this easy? To being honest with yourself can be a difficult thing. Don't get stuck on that word. Much love again to you. And if you're willing, you'll be able. Want to achieve these groovy results? Join me on the journey. Mind you, she used the word journey of new perceptions. A journey is a marathon. It's not a race. It can take time. So be kind to yourself. The 40-day commitment. Like any effective practice, true transformation occurs with daily repetition. I changed that on purpose in case it's triggering for some people. Begin with 40-day commitment and start experiencing positive results immediately. Okay, that's what we're doing today. We're starting our commitment today. Why 40 days? Why not? Metaphysicians and yogis place much emphasis on the repetition of a 40-day practice. That's true. I do. Mythical examples range from Moses' 40 days and 40 nights spent on Mount Sinai to the story of the Buddha reaching enlightenment on the full moon in May after meditating and fasting under the Bodhi tree for 40 days. She's using examples of different spiritual, religious, religion studies. Okay, same thing with the practice and the journey I have gone through in my yoga practice as well. We've studied different religions and how similar we have become we are in the spiritual form. We are very similar. They say similar messages. We don't have to agree. Let's just agree to disagree and embrace the mindfulness practice that these things have brought on. Okay. All right, let's go back. The number has scientific significance too. Research has shown that after repeating a new pattern for 40 days, you can change the neural pathways in your brain to create long-lasting change. That is true too. That's something I've learned studying the neurobiology, the neuropsychology, the yoga psychology in the yoga therapy practice that I've been doing for a whole year. So let's take a cue from mystics and scientists and commit to this 40-day fear cleanse. Again, let's change that from fear cleanse to fear restricting cleanse. So let's not allow fear to bind us. We're allowing fear to educate us. Does that make sense? Okay. Because this practice takes place over 6 weeks. I hope you guys got that. You'll actually have 42 days for the fear cleanse, an extra 2 days to practice our work. It's simple, consistent shifts that count when you're making change. So I've outlined this journey to be fun and achievable. I will guide you to keep it uncomplicated and stay on track. And one day at a time, you become a miracle worker or a mindful worker. Sorry, I dropped my notes. Okay. So why small and simple? So have you ever seen the KISS philosophy? KISS, K-I-S-S. Keep it simple, sweetie. Okay, that's I know that other people use another S word for it, but let's not go there. It's keep it simple, sweetheart, sweetie, put a significant person you. All right, whatever you want to add to that. Why simple? Because when something is too big to chew on, you need small little bites, right? You can't unlock your jaw to eat something chew. So your brain is trying to digest new habits. It's trying to digest new foods. So you need it in small, simple bites. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to change ourselves and get into a new journey. So every journey is we take a step forward. We look at the little tiny steps versus making it so big and possibly too daunting and anxious to complete. So don't let me see another analogy I can use. Small little bites, small steps. I'm also a personal trainer, so small programming. If you haven't worked out in 40 days or 40 years, I'm not going to ask you, hey, join the half Ironman tomorrow. You know what I mean? We're going to practice step by step. So if you haven't worked out in a while, getting up from the chair between commercials, standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting down during a commercial, and then watching it, that's a small step. Small things, little things to add to your day, like the tapas I was mentioning, an extra routine. So if you don't like drinking water and you need to introduce hydration into your system, drinking a cup of water with lemon and working it up to that level till you be able to communicate and love water again. You know, little bites, little steps makes it a little easier to make big change. Okay? Okay? You understand? All right, let's try again. All right. By choosing to follow this plan for the next 6 weeks, I hope you do, you'll begin to reprogram your thoughts from fear to love. If you dig the results, stick to the path and commit to a life as a miracle worker. This book is divided into 6 chapters, one for each week. This weekly chapters contain exercises for each day of the week to transform your thoughts back to love. Each week focuses on a different area of your life. Week 1. This week guides you to identify how fear has tripped you up and blocked your life's flow. I'll lay the groundwork and guide you to embrace the key principles: witnessing your fear, willingness to change, shifts in perception, gratitude, forgiveness, expectation, miracles, and reflecting and recapping. Week 2. This week is all about the importance of self-love. You'll be guided to strengthen your relationships with yourself. You'll become willing to release old patterns of self-attack. Self-love is super crucial to the worker practice. Okay, I can keep going and explaining these, but why don't we just stick with week 1 because we are in week 1. We'll come back to these, all right, when we hit those weeks. Sounds fair? All right, sounds fair. Let's get on. Each week builds upon the next, layering exercises and strengthening your mental muscles as you embrace the miracles. Each day incorporates the same outline to create repetition within your daily routine and in your mind. As you repeat these practices, they'll become easier and easier until they become second nature. Though you may experience some bumps along the way, she's already giving you a warning. You're gonna get some bumps along the way. Can you see that? Do you need to get a bigger? Let me see if I can make it a little bigger. Okay. You see it? It says bumps. Yeah, okay, there you go. Making the shift can be easy if you want it. When you're willing to change, you're given all the energy and support you need to move forward. Commit to each exercise and expect miracles. Okay, let's change expectations because in yoga we're buying to it. It keeps us locked. So commit to each exercise and don't expect, but let's hope for the best. what may count with what comes, what may. Let it come, what may. Okay. Try to avoid any expectations. It might just hold us. Just commit to each exercise and know that something good's going to come out of it. Okay. How it works. This book is meant to be a guide for you to create subtle shift for a miraculous change. Therefore, don't get hung up about the process. Don't worry about the how. If you follow the simple daily steps, you'll be hooked up with all you need. Try your best not to skip ahead or practice more than one exercise a day. Today is going to be the longest day because we're going through the process, okay? Every other day for the week is going to be a little bit quicker. Do your best to stick to the plan. But if you feel that you need to stay on a specific day for a little while, that's totally cool. Everyone goes through a pace at their own time, at their own pace. Follow your own progress. There's no judgment here. You can always stop me, or you can me ahead. Try just not trying to go ahead of the program. We're doing this step by step each day. Okay? Still love you. Feel free to repeat days if you need to go deeper into the exercises. But trust ultimately that there is a plan that is well crafted for you. That's a good word. I like trust. So commit to each exercise and trust that something is coming for you. Okay? Trust. Each exercise will create subtle shifts. These shifts are miracles. And the more miracles you add up, the more miraculous your life will be. Before you start exercising your love muscles, it is important that you prep for your journey. So next are a few things you'll need to know and prepare before starting your journey. Okay. Prepare to meditate. We will be doing this. I'll show you. It's going to be very quick bites. Okay. A super neat part of this book is that many of the exercises are self-reflective and very calming. I'll guide you through each day to establish and deepen your own meditation practice. Each exercise has written guided meditations that are also available bundled together as an audio album on her website. Do you need to see the website? Let me see if I can give you the website a little bit better. That's her website. So it's available there. Okay. And I'll make my meditations available as well. Your meditation space. To heighten your self-reflective experience, I suggest you set up a meditation space in your home. Maybe it's a corner in your bedroom, a nook in your office, or simply the edge of your bed. Find a space where you can be alone and feel at peace. My meditation space at home has a meditation chair. I've seen on my website. Okay, that's what she has it again. Candles, incense, post-its with positive affirmations, and inspirational images and quotes. Most important, it is a space where I feel centered and calm. You will use your meditation space for your morning and evening exercises. Yeah, we're doing both. I'm going to tell you what to do in the morning and what to do at night, and it's on you. It's all on you. You got it? Yeah, you. Okay, cool. All right. This space will become sacred to you. It will become important to you. It will be your groove thing. It will become necessary for you to do your day. It is likely that it will become your favorite place to hang. Your journal. Ooh, the dreaded word. You got to keep a journal on you. Did you know that? Okay. In addition to your meditation space, you'll need a journal. You may want to have it with you throughout the day to document your shifts. So make sure it's small enough to toss in your bag. You can use your iPhone, use your notes. I have an iPhone, so I'm not biased. Sorry. You can use your Samsung, your Google, whatever you got. Open up that notepad and go to town and use it as a journal. I happen to like both. I happen to like the notes feature in my iPhone, but just to show you, I have a journal too. It is my special go-to journal for my wonderful private thoughts. Make yours pretty, make yours your own. Self-care. Throughout your miraculous transformation, you may feel overwhelming emotions. This is a good sign, trust me. But if you're not making self-care a priority, your emotional breakthroughs can morph into meltdowns. Oh, she is not lying. It's very, very true. Loving thoughts to you. That's why whenever I stop to give you a little tidbit, I tell you I love you, or take your time, give you a thumbs up, send you some love. This is going to be a tough process, everyone. It's a journey. It's not a race. So make sure to activate specific self-care activities throughout each day. For instance, I love lighting a candle and taking a bath. The simple exercises of taking a bath is an act of self-care that supports me throughout all kinds of shifts. Let's see, can you see that? I hope so. Okay. Regardless of what's going on, my daily bath is essential. So pick one or two acts of self-care that you will incorporate into your practice. You may want to be extra cautious to eat healthful foods, drink more water, or sleep more. What you do to yourself, your body will also embody the practices. So we're working with both your mind and your brain and your energy or your spirit, higher levels. So we're working in 3 different levels here. Yes, you got it? I love you still. All right. Eat well, sleep well, think well. Be aware. Throughout your journey, remain mindful that fear is tricky. Right when you think you got the love thing down, fear will sneak back on us. It's just a fire alarm, remember? There is nothing to be afraid, or just be aware. Be conscious of your fear behavior helps keep it in check. Also, since you'll be working your self-care so well, your fear will have less room to creep in. Love will take up so much in your space, in your mind, that fear won't have anywhere to go but out. Trust this and know that love will always shine brighter than fear. That's true. Love will shine brighter than fear, but we won't get fear to, get the flip out of here. We just won't let fear drive the bus. Okay? Fear will no longer be the driver of the bus. Love will. Fear will still be there to be your protector, to come up, to tell you, give you warnings, tell you, hey, buddy, this reminds us of this. Fear can be helpful. Fear can be healthy. If you have a fear of burning yourself, you're going to be more cautious around fire, right? At least I hope so. I think my captions turned off from hot moment. Let's go back. There it is. All right. Does that make sense? Fear can be helpful. Fear can be healthy, because fear can say, if I'm scared of fire, I'm going to be careful with it. I'm not going to just say, it's fire, let's get burned. Okay? It just won't drive the bus. Getting down to business. Now that I've laid the groundwork of your minded process, it's time for you to set your schedule. I suggest you begin the exercises on a Sunday. Well, today is October 10th. It is a Tuesday for me. It might be October 11th for you if you're in in a different side of the world. So it might be Wednesday for you. It is a Tuesday for me. I know it is not that, but I thought, hey, today is National Mental Health Day. October 10th is National Mental Health Day. Why not start today? Each new week begins by reading the upcoming week's introduction. So we're reading the introduction for week 1. Okay, we're going to start with day 1. You don't have to stick to this routine, but test drive my suggestion and see if it works with your schedule. Again, don't beat yourself up too hard. This process isn't meant to be rigid. Rather, it offers you guidance to create your own transformational practice. Take this practice seriously. I really need you to become serious, okay? Take it seriously. Really do. Trust that as you change your thoughts, your actions and experiences, it will change accordingly. As A Course in Miracles says, you may believe that you are responsible for what you do, but not for what you think. The truth is that you are responsible for what you think, because it is only at this level that you can exercise choice. What you do comes from what you think. Each day of the practice, you'll be guided to exercise the choice to change the way you think. As you add up new perceptual all right, shifts, you will begin to see changes throughout your life. Now it's time to let go, be guided, and trust. I know what it says there, but just trust. Okay, week 1, becoming mindful. My thoughts are images that I have made. A Course in Miracles. Or that in yoga therapy, my thoughts are images that I have made through influences of what I've seen in my life, what I have felt in my life, what I have experienced through my caregivers. Again, we are working with the first chakra. So let's go with week 1. Fear, false evidence appearing real. I've also heard fear, going back to my notes, okay? Fear also being called face everything and resolve, or flip everything and run. Okay? If my focus is fear, it will become reality. So again, the reason why I said we're going to try to see, we're not kicking fear out by fear, because then we don't invalidate it. What we're trying to do is tell fear, you are not the driver of the bus. You are the passenger, not the driver. Okay? All right, let's go back to the book. Yep, that's right. When you focus on fear, it becomes your reality. We've all picked up fear in a unique ways and replay those fearful stories over and over like mental movies in our minds. Each fearful belief we hold is a choice we make. We choose to believe in the fear on the news, the fear in our home, and the fear in our mind. Fear is an epidemic, but it's also a protector according to IFS. One key Swadhyaya question is, how is fear guiding my journey? How is fear driving the bus? Throughout our lives, we absorb fear from the world around us. And we grow to believe those fears are our reality. Each of us in some way has chosen to hold on to fear in one or many corners of our life. Maybe you're fearful of not having enough money. Maybe you're afraid to be alone, or maybe you're just straight up fearful of everything. That was the case for her. This can be the case for me at times as well. For more than 2 decades, I lived in fear. I feared not being smart enough, yep, pretty enough, or cool enough, as well as not having enough. Yep, yep, yep. I even feared being too great. Fear ran the show. I was scared to do this with you guys. I'm still about with this. So thank you for still hanging on with me if you're here. I feared not being enough. Fear ran the show. Each waking moment of my life, I worked hard to anesthetize my fear with food, romance, love, work, drugs, gossip, television, anything to avoid actually dealing with my fear. I replayed my fear-based thoughts like skipping a record. I lived in a constant state of anxiety and inner turmoil. Then, when I was 25, I hit a big bottom. Fear had sucked the lifeblood out of me. I was emotionally, physically, spiritually bankrupt and addicted to drugs. Not me, but this is her journey. We're going through Gabrielle Bernstein, okay? I had no other choice but to find a better way to live. I had to surrender to a faithful voice within that had been calling my name for years. On the evening of October 2nd, 2005, I said a prayer for the willingness to see things differently. Some people, again, that word prayer, let's go there. That word prayer can be a trigger for some. This is what she did. This is her story. Let's respect it and honor it and not disvalidate it. She called out to the universe. Maybe you guys not had a prayer, but put a spell, made a commitment to yourself saying you're never going to do this again. You want to be able to see different. Okay. I prayed for love to enter into my fear-based mind, and it did. The next morning, an authoritative inner voice of love came forward and encouraged me to change my perspective on living. My inner voice said, get clean and you will live a life beyond your wildest dreams. My willingness to follow the message helped me to hear my intuition and reconnect with love. I have been listening ever since. That decision has been the key to living with a miracle mindset, or a growth mindset or a mindful mindset. I was willing on October 2nd, 2005, and then again on October 3rd, October 4th, October 5th, and so on. I'm still willing today. My deep desire to see love instead of fear is what got me here. Just as my inner guide had promised, today I am living a life beyond my wildest dreams. I am the happiest person I know, and I owe this happiness to one simple choice: love. In every situation, no matter how horrifying it may be, we have a choice: the choice to see love instead of fear. I know this is a pretty far out statement coming from someone whose darkest hour include drug addiction and deep inner turmoil. Yes, plenty of people throughout the world have experienced far from horrifying fears that what I've known. But we share one thing in common. We all have the choice to perceive love instead. We can choose to focus on the fear in front of us and open our hearts and surrender to a power greater than ourselves to restore our faith in love. That's one of the surrender to a power greater than ourselves. That's something that if you have ever been in AA or even in Al-Anon, that's one of the commitments, to surrender to a power greater than yourself. It doesn't necessarily have to be, if you're non-religious, God. It can be to the universal guides. It can be to gravity. It can be to the little person within you that talks to you, your consciousness, your subconsciousness, something, but you're surrounding your power to something greater than your physical self. So this is talking about, this thing right here is talking about the capital S self versus the little s self. Make sense? Throughout the book, I refer to this greater power as an ever-present energy of love that circles around us, support us, and guides us to know peace. Call it God, call it Ing, call it spirit, call it the spaghetti monster, whatever you want to call it your higher power, your higher self. I'm going to see if I can bring it a little bit closer, the camera, for you guys to see. For the sake of this book, let's call it love. All right. This is your ultimate love for you. Although I'll use these words interchangeably. Now, this is what she's going to do throughout the book. Again, if these words cause triggers, use whatever word helps for you to resonate with the book of what we're doing. We're not necessarily causing miracles. We're getting techniques to be more mindful, right? Don't confuse this with romantic love. Rather, consider it a presence of inner power that can attract more power to it. It's as if we have a magnetic force within us, which we all do, when we clear the fear that blocks our power. Yes. Okay. This is what it brings up. I'm going to go to the Panchakarma. I'm sorry. I know my handwriting is not that great. All right. All right. So you see that little dot that I just did? All right. So we're trying to say that right now, this is your true inner self. This one, this little tiny little spot right there is your true inner self. And we're usually focused on this big part right here. This is like the top of the surface. This is deep into the surface. This is the top of the surface. This right here is the highest, most energetic, powerful energy magnet you got inside you. But sometimes it is blocked by all the other levels that we consider and we think about. Sometimes it's blocked. This is going to be my body, I'm not happy with it. This little second right here is going to be my brain, my mental capacity. This is going to be, I don't breathe enough to get all of this down. This is going to be my inner sense of my belief systems. And then it's going to cover this. This means that, man, I am the it. Does that make sense? And I did that same thing with I turned off my closed captioning. Hopefully it's following it. But I like to see it so that way I can get it. But does any of this make sense? All right, yeah, cool. All right, cool. Let's go on. I just thought about it. I'm over here doing closed captionings on this video, and then you might have another closed captioning on another video. So maybe I can turn off this closed captioning and then fix the other one. But we have closed captioning, just to let you know. You guys don't remember, my son is deaf. Yeah, my son is deaf, so I try. I truly do try to add closed captioning to all my videos. Okay, all right, let's go back to the book. Don't confuse this for romantic love. Rather, consider it a presence of inner power. Then it can attract more power to it. It's as if we were have a magnetic force within us. When we clear the fear that blocks our power, then we become a magnet for miracles or mindfulness or higher self or positivity or all the stuff that we want. The exercises throughout the book will guide you to release the fear or tell fear to become a passenger, stop driving the bus that stands in the way of your connection to the loving power. Of Course in Miracles says your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all of the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. Yep, that's right. You don't have to go hunting for this awesome love. The power of love is already within you. But unfortunately, events happen in our lives that become like bricks in the wall. Each fear-based experience adds another brick to the wall that blocks you from your inner power. As I said, it keeps covering it up. Okay. My job is to give you the tools to dismantle these bricks, to release all that separates you from your loving, powerful truth. Or it helps you to open it up so that way you can see it and say, hey, buddy, we're opening it up, versus becoming a little tight squirrel and allowing fear to drive that bus off the road. Just say, hey, fear, can you go back to your place? Thanks. All right. The barriers within yourself that have blocked you from your loving perspective are founded on the fear-based projection of what, of Course in Miracles, calls the ego. The ego is synonymous with fear and produces judgment, attack, jealousy, and all the negativity that separates you from your loving truth. The ego, well, you can call it edge got out. Again, if you don't like that word, change it, edge goodness out, edge gratitude out, is the opposite of the presence of love within us. We all have chosen to hook into our own ego perceptions in different ways based on our own experiences. One person's ego projects fear of financial insecurity, whereas another person's ego projects poor health. The story your ego has told you may seem unique to you, but know that you're not alone. Everyone in this world, except for a few enlightened masters, bring it closer so you can see, experience his, her, their ego on a daily basis. This was written before the Enlightenment age. Sorry, guys. So I'm going to add whatever I need to add to help you to feel it, okay? All right. One of the primary tools for releasing the ego is to become highly conscious of its behavior. A major theme throughout this book will be to witness your ego in action. By placing the magnifying glass on your ego's dark illusions, you weaken its strength. Similar to shadow work, you're looking at what's being spoken to in the background of your mind, in the shadow parts of your mind, the parts of the mind that you haven't brought to light in or you're not aware of. It brings it up, it bubbles it up to the surface so we can look at it and go, oh, you don't work for me, and take it out. All right, here we go. Understanding the ego. A Course in Miracles teaches that when we choose our ego's false perceptions, we become separated from God, okay, aka love. We become separated from our true selves. We edged out gratitude out. All it took was one tiny mad idea to make us choose the fear of the world of love. In an instant, we can pick up a tiny mad idea from the world. For instance, I picked up the tiny mad idea that there's never enough from my early childhood mealtime experiences. In some way or another, we all pick up the fear-based beliefs from our early childhood experiences. Yeah, that's true. That is something that was definitely mentioned in the yoga therapy process that I've learned. From that point forward, we continue to detour. See, it's a road. fear goes into fear drives the bus and goes deeper into fear and anxiety and depression, and it edges gratitude out of our lives. And choose the ego, edge gratitude out of our lives, illusionary perspective over loving truth. The moment we choose fear over love, our mind split off into what the Course refers to as the wrong mind, or in yoga therapy as the distracted mind, the disturbed mind, the different phases of minds. If you want to talk more about that, we can in a different section, but right now we're going to go back to the book. Our right-minded side thrives on peace and oneness, but our wrong-minded side is fueled by fears of the world. I wouldn't call it right-minded and wrong-minded. Let's change those words from right or wrong to our sattvic. Okay, now I threw in a yogic term, sattvic. Sattvic, S-A-T-T-V-I-C, sattvic. Our sattvic mind thrives on peace and unity. Sattvic means the homeostasis, the higher level, the peaceful mind, the mind that's one-minded. It's focused on love. It's focused on all the positive things that you can have in your life, versus the wrong-minded. I'm going to call that the disturbed mind, the distracted mind. Those two ones, the ones that are interfere and cause some issues with this state of peace, this nice home, this nice calm type of mind. Okay. Over time, the repetition of our ego's fear leads us to believe that that the distracted mind is all there is, that the disturbed mind is all there is. The ego cannot survive without fear. Therefore, it's committed to keeping us stuck in fear with its crafty tricks. The ego likes it when the fear drives the bus. Ego just likes it because you're on the edge. You're on the edge of gratitude all the time. Therefore, it's committed to keeping us stuck in fear with its crafty tricks. Outlined next are some examples of how ego holds us back, keep us small, and blocks our inner state of love. Sin, guilt, and fear. Okay, she's using another word that most people have a problem with. So let's call that shame, the toxic shame. Okay. Shame in yoga therapy, or according to IFS, it's also something that is a protector. It's let me see. Shame, let's think of shame as blah 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 blah. It's a healthy shame. So shame is, don't touch that. Like, you're a little baby and you want to go and touch the fire, and mommy says don't touch it, and you touch it and go, oh, I learned something, I'm not supposed to do that again. But there's also different degrees of shame, which if you want to talk about that with me, I can give you a little snippet of what I've learned in yoga therapy and go on a tangent there. But we're not going to go on that tangent because that's not what today is about. All right. When we side with ego and believe that we're separated from love, we unconsciously feel as though we're sinned, or as though as we did something wrong. We are ashamed to think that we're not worthy. This belief in sin, or the shame, creates an experience of guilt. We feel this unconscious guilt because we think we've killed our connection to love. Then comes the inevitable fear, the emotion we experience based on the thought that we need to be punished for turning our back on love. To keep us in this shame, guilt, fear, struggle, the ego convinces us to deny the experience of fear. So again, we don't validate our fears. We ignore it. We say, hey, you don't exist. We're here to find out, hey, fear, why do you want to drive the bus so bad and keep me on that track? What's going on? Remember, that's why fear is considered a protector in IFS, to keep us stuck in pattern. We deny our fear in all sorts of situations. For example, the drug addict is unwilling to admit his or her addiction, A woman makes excuses for her abusive spouse, or more subtly, someone simply hates his or her job, but is too afraid to walk away. The ego has crafty tricks for keeping us stuck. Oh, I think I'm pressing too many buttons and something jumped up. Okay. All right, we're back on. We're back on. All righty. We deny our fear in all sorts of situations. For example, okay, we got that. Where was I? The stuck in fear-based experiences that clearly do not serve us. When we're unwilling to look at our fear head on, we accept fear as our reality. To further deny our fear, we project it onto others in hopes that the guilt will magically disappear by placing it outside ourselves. Placing blame on others is a sure sign we're unwilling to look at our deep-rooted fears. This is a sneaky ego trick that merely reinforces our faith in attack, judgment, and negativity. That's why I tell you, self-love to you. Love to you all. Be kind to you. Lots of self-care. I love you. This is a journey, not a race. I know all this must sound totally trippy. That is to be expected. Your ego has worked hard to deny your shame, guilt, and fear. Becoming aware of your shame, guilt, fear cycle is the first step towards changing it. Remember, there goes that word cycle again. Separation. From a spiritual perspective, a metaphysical perspective, a high energy perspective, we are all connected energetically. The Course says there are no private thoughts. This means that on some level, we are all energetically connected through our shared intentions. Have you ever found your tribe? And then you ever found your best friend, a different person besides you, not related to you, not everything. And then you say, holy cow, you guys kind of think alike, you're kind of twinsies. Yeah, that's what that is. The Course emphasizes our interconnectedness, that we are all one, Black, white, male, female, poor, rich, and so on. Accepting our oneness helps us release the ego-based projections we have placed on the world. Unfortunately, most of us have been taught to believe in oneness. Have not been taught to believe in oneness. We believe in the ego's false perception. We believe we are separate from everyone else. We see our bodies as more special or less special than others. Each thought we have reinforces our separateness and specialness. Thoughts like, I have more money than that guy, or I will never look good enough to set the romantic partner I desire, or I'm not good enough to be friends with you. Okay. Each fear-based thought that deepens the illusion of separation. You're not alone. You're with me. You are with me, and we are doing this together. Okay. Judgment and attack. The ego is a great fault finder. Because our choice to perceive fear has made us feel so terrible, we project that terrible feeling onto others to protect ourselves from actually dealing with the discomfort. For instance, discomfort. Take a breath, girl. For instance, I spent years feeling as though I was incomplete without a romantic partner. Yeah, I felt that way too. That does suck. Each time I see a happy couple, I attack their romance in my mind by judging their relationships. I think thoughts like, that will never last, or he can't possibly like her. Can he? Rather than choose to recognize their love as a mirror to the love within me, I chose to, drum roll, please, everyone, to deepen the separation with judgment and attack. Anybody done that before? I know I have. This is a fierce ego trick that keeps the illusion of separation alive and kicking. Each week, I will help you become more and more clear of how the ego uses its nasty tricks to keep you stuck in fear, or keep fear in the driver's seat. Focusing on the ego will help you see it as a separate from your loving mind truth. The more you witness the ego in action, the less power it has over you. That's true. The more we witness ego and the more we witness fear, we can figure out, hey, buddy, what are you trying to protect me from? Is it real or not real? And then we can thank fear instead of kicking it off the bus. We're not kicking it off the bus. We're thanking fear. All right. The way out of the ego. In addition to looking directly at your ego, you'll also be guided to surrender your ego fears to a power greater than you, your inner guide. The inner guide is the voice of a lover, haha, maybe an internal teacher waiting for our call. The Course says love will immediately enter into any mind that truly wants it. When we turn our fear over to this inner voice of love, we offered power, creative ways of perceiving our life. For instance, if you turn your financial fears over to the care of your inner guide, you will be led to find new and unique ways for earning rather than staying focused on your lack. Or if you surrender your cigarette addiction to the care of your inner guide, you'll intuitively be guided to books, people, and resources that will help you recover from your addiction. Surrendering your fears to your ing will always offer you a miraculous solution. Each exercise in this book guides you to create subtle shifts for miraculous change. The shifts occur when you choose to surrender your fear to inner guidance for health, for healing. Back on. A Course in Miracles teaches that prayer is the medium of miracles. When you release your fears through prayer, meditation, affirmations, and the daily unique practices throughout this book, you'll be guided to transform those fears into prayers. Okay, so that's in A Course in Miracles, that's the book that she's using. Again, we're not going to be using A Course in Miracles. If A Course in Miracles triggers you, mantras, sayings, repetition is the medium of miracles. Okay, so let's remember, use what you can, delete the rest. Let's go back. You'll be guided to transform those fears into love. This book strives to make surrendering your fear a moment-to-moment habit. Throughout your willingness to choose gratitude, forgiveness, and a new perspective, you will intuitively be led to see your entire life through new lenses. The more you call on love, the more love you will see. I know that the concept of working with your inner power may be foreign to you. That's where this week's work comes in handy. Each daily practice this week will strengthen your mental and emotional love muscles so they become super strong. But as I've stressed before, it takes time and commitment. It's just like working out. For the first couple of days, you'll feel a little out of whack. But as you get stronger and more fit, the whole process starts to feel natural and awesome. Remember, the key element to assessing the power of love is to believe the power of love. One of my spiritual mentors, Wayne Dyer, he's mine too. I love this man. Too bad he passed away. May he rest in peace. Some years back, added a new twist to an old saying. He said, I'll see it when I believe it. The goal of this book is to help you heighten your mindfulness mind belief system so that that mindfulness becomes your reality. Each daily exercise this week will introduce the recurring principles that will show up throughout your 42-day practice. Day 1, which is today, thank goodness. All right, you're going to begin the practice of witnessing. I'll guide you to witness your fears so that you can start to understand the choice you made to focus on them. Day 2, you'll be guided to surrender to the willingness to change. This may sound hard, but trust that you're already halfway there. But just by picking this book up, you've made a major statement to yourself that you're willing to see love instead of fear, which you've done. That's right. If you're still with me after talking all this time, well done. Good job for you. Thank you for the commitment and keeping of the goings. On day 3, you'll begin to choose the loving perspective and start to say no to fear. Oh, you're not saying no. You're talking to your buddy and saying, hey, buddy, why are you here? Do you need my help? What are you here to remind me? You know, stuff like that. Okay. Day 4, focus on the gratitude, which will awaken the love presence within you and give you some extra juice for day 5 heavy lifting. The work on day 5 is dedicated to forgiveness. Don't freak out. I'm not expecting you to forgive everyone in an instant. This week, I'm simply introducing the possibility of forgiveness to ignite your willingness to jumpstart the practice of the F word. She's going to say the word F word interchangeably with forgiveness throughout this book. So it's going to be the F bomb, the F word. So whenever she says the F bomb or the F word, she's talking about forgiveness, not that other curse loaded F bomb. Okay. All right. On day 6, you'll be guided to awaken your miracle mindset, or your mindful mindset, your growth mindset of love. I'll lead you in exercises that will help you step outside your comfort zone to see a world beyond what you have previously chosen to believe in. Day 7, I'll include the week's exercises with a self-reflection and preparation. You'll spend the last day of each week reflecting on the previous 6 days. Then in the evening, you'll prepare for the week to come by reading the introduction to the next chapter. You got it? You're okay? I'm not going to say simple. Let's just base that word. Now that you're clear about the plan, I can share this week's promise with you as you awaken your love mindset. I love that. Love mindset. You'll begin to know a new truth. Number 1, being mindful. Being mindful will embrace every area of your life. You'll come to understand your fear and therefore be willing to get it out the driver's seat. Each exercise offers up a subtle shift in your perspective towards life. The more subtle shifts you add up, the more peace you will feel. Judgment, attack, and anger will subside. Anger is not such a bad thing. Anger is also another protector that I've learned in IFS. Anger tells you, hey, buddy, an injustice has been occurred within you, whether something of your belief has been attacked, a sense of self has been attacked, something that you feel, there's a part of you that says, I didn't like that. So sometimes anger can be a healthy thing as well. Again, whenever I get triggered by certain words, I will pop in and give you a little excerpt. You'll inherently know a new serenity, and mindfulness will occur naturally. Pretty amazing stuff, huh? Clearly, you have a lot to look forward to. Remember to focus on each exercise. Be patient. That is the number 1 thing that we need to be remembered. Boom, 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 boom. Be patient. And breathe deeply. Oh, yes, I'm going to be introducing some pranayama techniques. That is just the yogic term for breath. Now let's get the ball rolling and bust through some fear. Yes. All right. Day 1. Be fun. Okay, you want to take a break? Let's take a break for a minute. Before we go on reading, let's close this book for just a hot second. Let me give you some stuff. Let me show you my face. Want to see my face for finally? Let's see my face. Oh my God, can I see my face? Hey everyone. Yeah, this is my little space here. Okay, so what do you see? Let's just pause this for a moment. One, now you get to see my face, right? I know, we've been reading the book. That was a lot of pages. So let's take a moment before we actually get into day 1. Okay, let's take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Notice I'm using my nose. Only because it increases the nitric oxide. Nitric oxide gives us more oxygen and puts more oomph into your breath cells. So we're trying to put more oomph into it because we are going on a journey. This is a lot of work. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's a lot. Remember, I am doing this again with you. I did this course 12, yeah, wow, 12 years ago. And I know I have changed. So I know you will also change. We may not be the same as we are today in 40 days from now. So let's just take a deep breath because this is a lot. Okay. In through the nose, out through the nose. If your nose is stuffy, in through the mouth, out through the mouth, but like a straw. If you can curl up your tongue, that helps too. Whatever you choose, you pick what, which breath. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna add the arms with the breath. Okay, so now we're gonna go up and down with the arms, okay? High five to the sky, down to the left. Okay, last one. Okay, like I said before, fear lives in the first chakra when it's in balance, your root chakra. Okay, so when you are lack a sense of security, lack a sense of stabilization, safety, your basic needs, the needs that we needed, um, once we got out of the womb, if those basic needs are not met, we get scared. Fear comes up. That's our sense of survival. Can we survive? That is the first chakra. That is, it's not, and not only that, fear also, we're going to go Ayurvedic style. So we're going to go really deep into the yoga. It's also a vata imbalance. So we have three doshas. We have vata, we have pitta, we have kapha. If you want to learn more about it, you can get a dosha quiz and find out which one you groove in more. Sometimes you're going to groove in two versus three, or maybe all three. You know, everyone is different. So no judgments. Don't hold on to anything. Okay. I can dive in a lot deeper into yoga therapy than what I could or should. But this is just to give you an introduction of what we're going to be doing with this book. Remember, I'm going to be breaking in and giving you some sprinkles of yoga therapy along the way. This book is going to be guiding you as well as I. So patience with you, with me. And we're all going to grow. Hopefully we're all going to grow through this. And if you remember, my son is deaf. So if you see me signing, if I sign wrong, email me, let me know. Okay. This is a growing process, the journey. So be patient with you, be patient with me. Thank you. Okay, let's continue with this little, see, I got notes. Okay, so fear not only lives in the first chakra, let's go into science now. Fear lives in your right side of the brain. It is a right-brained thing. We go away from the right side and we start thinking logically. So the right side is more your creative side, your emotion, your empathy, your oh, that's awesome type of thing. That's the part of the brain that does that. Okay. Your left side of the brain is more the critical thinking, the analytical. What the hell is wrong with me? And then your right brain goes, you know, because you kind of shut it off and you're too busy trying to talk a different language to the two sides of the brain and it doesn't connect. So in yoga therapy, we're going to try to bring you back to the right side of the brain. And I don't mean as in right and wrong. I'm talking about left and right. Okay. And I'm going into, this is my right. This is your left. And this is your, yeah, get it? All right. All right. So right side of the brain. So we're going to try to do right and left. That's why I changed the words when you heard her say right brain and wrong brain. We're not going to use those terms for that. It's going to be for direction. We're going to think of the sattvic brain, which is your calm, your serene type of brain versus the distracted, disturbed, distorted mind. Okay? Got it? We understand? Cool. All right. So what we're trying to do is we're working together to bring together a sense of well-being. Remember, I'm going to be looking at my notes, so I'm going to go up and down, right? So the right brain supports the empathy, the awe, but it's also where it holds your trauma, your terror, your fear. So those of us who live in trauma, me included, okay? I don't know if I ever told you, but I have PTSD. I've been sexually assaulted numerous times in the past. So my amygdala is, oh my gosh, it's huge. It's a fire alarm for a lot of things. Meditation, yoga, breathing, learning more about myself, witnessing my fear has really helped me to calm that fire alarm down. Okay. And that's what I'm hoping for you as well. Okay. So those of us living in the trauma brain tend to stay in the left brain. We don't, no, I don't want to go and live in the right brain. Remember, the fear lives in the right side of the brain. So sometimes, have you ever felt stuck to the point that you're not creative anymore? You don't feel like you want to groove and groove, because when you live in that side of the brain, there goes your trauma reliving. There goes that you're so susceptible to it that you prefer to stay in the analytical side because that side's scary. Okay. So to heal through this trauma, we have to silence fear. It's to appease to our sense of community by developing attuned relationships, even if it starts with us first. That's why this book is very important. It's just the basics. We're going to start with the basics, start small, right? Small chunks. We don't want to we can't dislodge our jaws. So we're going to start small bites so that way we can get the groove of it to get the bigger concepts. So we're going to try to cut them small, simple, quick, keep it simple, right? The KISS formation, so that way we can try to understand it. Remember, we're dealing with our first chakra. We're dealing with our sense of security, our sense of being. We are human beings. We're meant to be part of a community. We're meant to be part of something. So when we don't feel like we're part of something, when we feel we're alone, we feel edged out. Remember what I said? Edged out means she called it ego. She called it we pushed God out. We pushed love out. And I kept saying we pushed gratitude out of our lives. We pushed the goodness of ourselves out. So we're going to try to stay not on the edge of our seats. We're going to be right there and not edge ourselves out of the game. Okay. So connectors is a way we regulate. Connectors. Connection. So uniting. So you and I going through this together, it's a connection. We're committed to this. Are you committed? I really do hope so, because I'm going to be talking like this for a while. Okay. So it helps us to regulate, but fear can block that path, as she said here. As she said in the book, fear can block it. So for one reason or another, it doesn't matter. Ego likes those tricks. It will let fear jump onto the driver's seat and drive us into crazy ways. We're trying to get fear out of the driver's seat. So this week is to witness together. We're going to start developing little techniques. I'm going to utilize the tools here in this book, utilize what we just did right now with the breath. And we're going to start a new loving, I love you, love me relationship with ourselves. Okay, so I'm going to start to love me. So we start in the first chakra, loving ourselves. We're going to begin a relationship. Remember, we are trying to reach out to the community. But how can we reach out to the community? Find that sense of security, find that sense of safety. If we don't feel safe within ourselves, we don't feel secure within ourselves, we don't feel a connection within the love that we are. We are made of love. We are made to love. So if we are not connected to that, how can we develop a relationship with anybody else? It's going to be difficult. So that's what today's about. That's what this week is about. Today is about just starting that relationship. You ready? Okay. I'm going to press pause again and go back to the book. Just give me a hot minute. Okay, back to the book. Here we go. Day 1, witness your fear. Welcome to your new life. Today we begin a journey of new perceptions, an adventure that will change the way you experience everything. Your goal today is to be the witness of your thoughts, actions, and energy. Up to this point, it's likely that fear has been running the show. Oh boy, has it. And you might not have even been aware of it. Give yourself some grace. That's going to be our new G-bomb, grace. Maybe you've been avoiding asking for a raise because you're afraid of rejection. Or possibly you're afraid to follow your passions because you believe you'll have to give up financial security to do so. When we're not aware of our fear, it takes residence in every area of our lives. Today's work is to raise your consciousness and open up your mind to your fear-based patterns. You must witness your behavior if you want to truly change it. You must look at your fear head on to recognize that believing its lies was a choice you made. Today, you'll begin a journey of choosing differently. Everyone has individual fears that are unique to them. Each of us picks up fear from our past and recreates it in the present. Okay. Then projects it onto the future. I'm going to move my notes out the way so you can read a little bit better. All right. Each day, we make the decision to forget about happiness and choose to project fear onto our reality. Can you see that? Today's practice will help you become mindful of how you've been committed to your fears. A Course in Miracles teaches that projection is perception. Therefore, whatever fear-based beliefs you've been projecting onto your internal movie screen have become the film that is your life. It is time to become conscious of what you've been projecting so that way you can begin to rewrite the script. Here goes my bookmark. It's okay. Morning reflection, day 1. So regardless of what time of day we're doing this, let's just start with this, okay? Begin your practice today by reading the following morning reflection. Immediately following the passage, sit for 1 minute of silence. Close your eyes and breathe deeply in your nose and out your mouth. To increase nitric oxide, breathe in and out of your nose. That feeds in your soul. It's like giving gasoline to your empty car. It helps to fuel it. So give it nitric oxide by breathing in and out of your nose. But if you must, try that. This minute of silence will let the message set in and permeate your being. Remember that the work we do together will be subtle. Therefore, you may not think 1 minute of stillness will have an effect, but trust that every second you choose a new perspective is a miracle, is a deeper understanding journey into mindfulness. Okay, are we ready to say our mantra for today, our affirmation? Today, I am the witness to my fear. I am open. I open my heart and mind to see how I have chosen fear over love. Today, I will watch myself as I'm standing across the street, peeking into the world I have created. I will witness how my fears run the show or drive the bus. I will pay attention to my patterns without judgment. I will become conscious of where my mind chose wrongly or where my mind got distracted, where my mind deviated to, and how these faith-based thoughts have tainted my happiness or influenced my happiness. I know this practice is the first step to uncovering my destructive patterns to create powerful change or unwanted patterns. Let's just say that. I am ready, willing, and able to look at the delusional thoughts I have been projecting. I'm willing to witness my fear. Affirmation day 1. I am willing to witness my fear. Take a deep breath in, please. Take a deep breath out. And repeat the mantra. I am willing to witness my fear. Let's continue. Whenever you notice your fear rise up throughout the day or for the next few minutes, repeat the preceding affirmation. For instance, if you become anxious at work, nervous before a date, or uncomfortable meeting someone new, you can simply use your affirmation. I am willing to witness my fear. The practice of witnessing your fear is important because it guides you to understand your triggers. This awareness will be helpful in upcoming exercises. Take this message with you throughout the day by plugging it into your phone as an hourly reminder. When the alarm goes off, read your affirmation to gently remind yourself to look courageously at your fear straight on and say, I am willing to witness my fear. Do not judge yourself. Do not say, well, why am I scared? No analytical style. Stay in the right side of the brain. And I mean the direction, the right side of the brain, your creative side. And just say to yourself, I am willing to witness my fear. In addition to using your affirmation, set your alarm at phone for noon. If you're in Hawaii side right now, you probably have just waking up. If you are in the Pacific side, this is your lunch break with a notification called my mindfulness break. This is your mindful moment. And trust me, it has the powerful to shift the energy of your whole day. When your alarm buzzes, gently remind yourself to choose love over fear by reciting your affirmation. This is the high pitta time of the day. This is part of Ayurveda. Noon is the best time to eat lunch. It's the best time to eat the biggest meal. It's the best time. And since this is our big chunk, we're trying to change mindfulness. We're trying to change patterns. Think about it. This is a big meal. So giving yourself a break during the noon time to digest this major breakthrough, this major new start of the day helps out Ayurvedically wise. Okay. Do this later on. You go do the morning stuff first, give yourself a break, go do some stuff. Okay. And then maybe an hour or two. This is the evening. You ready? Evening exercise, day 1. Once you're home from your work day, take 10 minutes to reflect on what came up for you. Okay, so do the affirmation of the morning side first. If you're doing this later on in the day, go do the morning side. Give yourself maybe a couple of minutes, 2-3 hours later. If you're not doing this before bedtime, I'm hoping you're not doing this before bedtime. And then you're going to do the evening exercise. Take out your journal and reflect on your day. Write down your answers to the following questions. Are you ready? What experiences triggered my fear? What thoughts triggered my fear? What are the feelings that come over me when I'm in fear? How does my fear affect my behavior? I'm going to give you one more. Where in the body did fear start talking to you first? Just notice. Throughout the next 6 weeks, you'll use your journal to document your process and your progress. Each journal entry will act as a benchmark for your progress. Be sure to take this step seriously because we'll be reflecting on your work in later weeks. If writing down your feelings is unfamiliar or challenging, don't sweat it. Just put pen to paper and do your best to answer the questions and let your thoughts flow. Over time, it will become easier and easier, and you'll notice the impact of writing down your answers. Remember what I said, use your phone, Google, use your phone, notepad, your computer, whatever. We're just tracking the notes down. If the exact fear is clear to you, then simply write it out. Be mindful, though, that you may be unable to pinpoint your fear head on. If this is the case, then it may actually be easier to become aware of the ways you may be playing small. That is, hiding out or avoiding certain situations. For instance, maybe you skip the gym again. Is it possible that you're nervous about the way people will look at you? Or maybe you didn't speak up in the office meeting. Could it be that you have a deep-rooted fear of your ideas being rejected? By paying close attention to your behavior, you can begin to get honest about what fears you may have been denying. Once you've identified a few of your fears, take a moment to determine which fears are the strongest. Choose your top 3 fears and then rate each one's strength on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the strongest. Write these fears at the top of a new page in your journal and repeat your affirmation out loud. I am willing to witness my fear. I am proud of myself for doing this work. Remember what I said about consciousness. Water has consciousness. You are 70% water. Your body is always listening. Your body keeps score. Always give yourself a pat in the back for doing the work. This work isn't easy. When you're ready to retire for the night, prepare for another exercise. Each night I will give you into self-reflection, work that opens up your subconscious mind so that your practical mind can take a back seat. Let go of your to-do list and clear space for inspiration to come forth. This evening, I'll guide you into a meditation that will help you reflect on the day with a loving perspective. Today's work may have brought up some uncomfortable stuff. That's cool. Remember that facing our fear is a big part of this practice. Huge. After all, if we don't witness the fear, we cannot be set free from it or tell it to go to the back seat. In this meditation, I'll guide you to energetically disconnect from the fears that have been present today. The upcoming exercise is your first meditation. Follow the guidance below, or you can visit her website. I'll help you out. How's that? In your meditation space, sit up straight on the floor or on a chair. Gently allow your shoulders to fall into a natural position. Get your body into alignment to receive the energetic guidance that will come through your meditation. Close your eyes. Place your hands on your knees. Palms facing up. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. Continue this cycle of breath as you center into your meditation. Okay, guys, you ready? I'm going to turn the camera again. Give me a moment. Okay, you found your seat? Comfortable or not? Well, I'm hoping it's comfortable. Let's not make it not. Okay, go to your bed, go to a chair, go to the floor. Okay, you're ready. All right, put your palms facing up. In yoga, palm position is key. If you are in need of more energy into your life right now, like you're feeling kind of down and you want to be uplifted, palms facing up. If you need to settle down a little bit more, you feel like you're high anxiety, you're all the way up here, palm facing down onto your lap. So that way you can settle and be grounded. You need a little bit of both. One hand up, one hand down. Okay? All right. Get nice and comfy. When you close your eyes, look at the tip of your nose, behind the eyelids. Or if closing your eyes causes anxiety to come up, sometimes it can. Look at the words coming up on the screen. Lower your gaze. Breathe into every word I'm about to say. Not right now, but just slow down the breath. Remember, breathe in through the nose, breathe in and out through the nose. If breathing in and out of the nose is difficult, breathe in through the nose. And breathe out through the mouth like you're blowing out a candle. There you go. Keep breathing. And I'm going to say some words. So you ready? All right. Take a moment to reflect on the fears from your day. Once it has come up, allow yourself to be very present. Just let the fears pass you by as clouds in the sky. Center yourself into your body. In other words, just feel what's happening underneath your seat. So if your feet are touching the ground, be present and feel how the toes feel on the ground. How does the ground feel? If you're sitting on your bed, how does your buttocks feel on the comforter of the bed? How does your back feel right now? Are you sitting tall on the floor? Where is it in space? Just notice where your body is in space. Breathe deeply. Remember your pattern. In through the nose, out through the nose, or in through the nose and blowing out the candles with the exhale. Continue this cycle of breath. Breathe in positivity, blow out the candle of negativity. Breathe in willingness and openness. Breathe out, shutting down. Breathe in the feelings that came up for today. Allow yourself to honor any feelings of discomfort, anxiety, or fear. You're just allowing us to see the movie. We're not becoming them. We're validating them. We're acknowledging that they're there. We're acknowledging that they exist. We do not become them. We're just seeing them, witnessing their existence. Be very present with them. Let them speak to you. Let them see. Let them tell you why it was scary today. What was scary today? What made you anxious today? Just let them talk to you. Just see them for what they are. Don't become them. Just see them for what they are. We are experiencing their existence. With every inhale, you're not fueling their existence, you're fueling your power of love, your commitment to hear them out. With every exhale, you're loosening the bounds, the binds that they have on you. With every inhale, you're asking for assistance and witnessing their existence. And with every exhale, you're loosening the binds of anxiety, of fear, and just letting them know, thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me know. Either I will work on that or I'm being present right now. Honor and allow yourself to accept whatever you're feeling right now. I'm going to throw the G bomb at you, which is grace. You are okay. All these feelings are normal and they're okay. There's nothing wrong with you. This is what it is right now. This is what they exist and saying right now. Just listen and witness. Feel it all. Exhale whatever binds, they're going into your body. Feel the discomfort, but know that you are okay. You are safe in your home. You're safe wherever you're listening this to. Take one last breath in and come back to the present moment and just be here with me. I'm going to continue the meditation with you. She ends it, but I will continue. Notice your heartbeat. Notice your breath. Notice where you are in space. If the fear, the anxiety are a little bit thick right now, it's a little bit too big, we're going to cut it into a little small bite size. So with every inhale, you're going to bring in some extra help, some assistance. And with every exhale, just say like if something tastes good, even though I know anxiety doesn't taste good. You inhale and exhale the humming. So allow the vagus nerve to feel the vibration and give you more space. I'm gonna sing the seed sound of Lam, which is the seed sound for the first chakra. You don't have to repeat after me. You can continue just humming along with every exhale, okay? Lam, lam, lam. 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 Lam, 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 lam. Last one. Lam, 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 lam. Take another deep breath in. Another deep breath out. Wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. And I will leave you here for the end of day 1. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for your patience with me. I will try to remember to turn off the original sound so that way we can have the, you can actually hear the musicians and you can hear my song, my pattern. Tomorrow, this recording will be a little bit less because we're not going through the huge introduction and day 1. We now know what to expect. So for tomorrow, for day 2, I will again sprinkle in my yoga therapy knowledge, some Ayurvedic knowledge. We're going to start with a meditation. We're going to end with a meditation. We may start with a practice, movement practice. We may not. So you can stay here and replay the meditation. You can breathe in and exhale the sound, or you can give yourself a shower and be extra juicy, loving to yourself. Thank you again for coming and joining me on this journey. I wish the best for you. Be patient with yourself, okay? Be kind. Be nice to yourself. And as always, may the light in me honor the light in you. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And much love to you all. Thaneko kakao kolona to you. Many blessings, many blessings. Until tomorrow.